Hello and welcome to our Lunch and Learn today. This is going to be improving elderly care at your library. I am your co-host, Jenny Regier. Welcome. I am the Director of Library here at Cherokee City-County Library. And I have with me my good friend and colleague, Tina Ruding. She works, we have known each other for
15, 18 years.
Yeah, 15, 18 years, something crazy like that. We used to work together in a school district. And then I moved out of that public school. And you moved first.
I probably left first.
I think she left first, and then I left and I went into public libraries. And she went to OHAI, which stands for Unmute Yourself, Sweetheart.
I didn't know if muting would. I was worried if I unmuted, it would make an echo. I'm with OHAI, Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative, and we'll talk more about that in a minute.
So we've known each other for a really long time. And when EDII came up with this and I took improving elderly care in your library, I thought, oh, I know the perfect person for this. And so I paired up with Tina, and here we are today. And that's what she is going to talk about, how to help all of us librarians really improve on our elderly care in the library and how it applies to us and how we can reach out to our older patrons and really improve our ability to help them in the library. Just FYI, if you did not register for this Zoom session, you will be removed. Please make sure that you change your name on your Zoom slide so that your Zoom account is the same that you registered under. I will be removing as Tina is talking, so just an FYI about that. There will be a live transcript going. As soon as Miss Tina starts talking, I will get that up and going, just so that everybody knows. And that's for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to shut up and let Tina go. She's got some really great information for us. And I am going to stop sharing now.
All right, we're in the same room. I had to come.
I'm going to turn myself down.
Okay. I had to drive up to Cherokee this morning and teach a Zoom class because I wanted to be here afterwards with Jenny. We could not mesh my PowerPoint with your PowerPoint. So that's why we're literally sitting next to each other, but we're each on our own computer so that I can share my PowerPoint with you. Again, my name's Tina Ruding, and I work for Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative. The first thing that I want to do before we kind of get into everything is do a little simulation with you. We have a class that we offer to nursing homes, senior centers, any kind of business. The library would fall under that, that would cater to older adults. And it is a program that helps you learn to empathize with them, where you do a series of stations, you move to different stations, and you interact as though you are the older person. And so we'll give you glasses that have Vaseline on them, and you put corn in your shoes, and you wear gloves. And sometimes even the people have their ankles tied together, so when they walk, they can only shuffle their feet. And we do a series of simulations. Well, because this is Zoom, that's a little hard to do all of them, but I thought I could do the hearing loss one with you so you could get an idea. We used to call this program Assist 24/7, but they have changed it and it's called Adapting to Health Changes. And they teach this at the College of Medicine. The different students that are going to med school at OU, they go through this training also. So if it's something you're interested in, if you have a large staff, if you're at a bigger library that maybe might have 6 or 7 employees, it might be a really good program to do with them so that they can learn to empathize with the older adults. So what I'm going to do, we're going to talk about hearing loss for a minute. And if you know, hearing loss in older adults can lead to all kinds of problems, social isolation, confusion. It can even lead to dementia because they're just not using their brain enough to keep that part active. So it's a big deal. I'm witnessing it with my mother. I just had a girls' weekend with my mom and sisters, and my mom could not keep up from hearing. Physically, she did pretty good, but we talked too fast for her. Things happened way too fast. She couldn't hear everything. And so I could really see that in her. So I think it's a really important one. Even if you just did something like this with your employees and not even hired someone to come in and do it, you would make a big impact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little script to you. You are the older adult. I am your son or your daughter or your neighbor, someone that is getting you ready to go to your doctor's appointment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover my mouth when I read, because a lot of older adults have learned to read lips, or you might be able to read lips. And I really want this to be authentic so that you really have to focus to listen. So it's a real short script. I'm going to read it, maybe take some notes, because I'm going to ask you a few questions afterwards about what you heard me say. Is everybody ready that's participating? Okay. Let me cover my mouth with something else so I can actually read, huh? Okay, here we go. Good morning. I'm calling to see if you're ready for your appointment tomorrow. You know that it always goes better when we're prepared for these appointments, especially when you're seeing a new doctor. First, you need to make a list of what you want to discuss. You only get this chance every few months. Write down the names of your other doctors and take all your medications to show the doctor, even the over-counter ones. Bring your insurance card, wear your glasses and your hearing aids. Be sure to tell the doctor that you have a hard time hearing. Also, be sure to tell her that you fell 2 weeks ago and you had to go to the ER. Tell her that your cardiologist has changed your water pill. It's a different color now, but you aren't dizzy anymore. I think your appetite is a little better, but you have gained weight. Would you like me to go with you? I could write down what the doctor says and we could talk about it later. All right, that was our little exercise. So I will let you know I failed this when we did it in person. They give you the little the little squishy ear things to put in, and she covered her mouth and I didn't catch half of it. Plus she talked a little faster. I went a little slow because we're on the internet and there might be a delay. She talked pretty fast and it is hard. So tell me this. What did you hear about being prepared to go see the doctor? And you can just chime in. You can chat. Jenny's got the chat open so she can check that if you'd rather chat, but you can always unmute and chime in. What did I say about being prepared?
List the medications, list the doctors.
Yes. Goes better when she's ready. Exactly.
Have your card, your medical
I
card.
think Jolene might be talking, but I can't hear you, Jolene.
Oh, my phone, I'm unmuted. Maybe my mic isn't working today.
Can you hear her?
No.
Oh, you know what? Jenny's volume's down. Oh, no, that wouldn't matter. I'm on.
Jolene says her phone is unmuted. Maybe my mic isn't working today.
Okay, no worries. So what we heard about make a list of what you want to discuss. That was to be prepared.
Other
And write down the
doctors.
names of the doctors. Get her medications, even her over-the-counter ones. Great. What suggestions were made about updating? What did she need to update the doctor about?
That she fell 2 weeks ago and had a trip to the ER. that are can you hear me?
We can now.
Oh, okay. And the cardiologist changed her water pill. It's a different color
Yes.
and she's not dizzy anymore.
Yes. Great.
She doesn't hear well.
Yes. Anything about her appetite?
Oh, her appetite is good. No, let's see. And she's gained a little weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Great.
And I
Points
wear
were
hearing
about
aids.
hearing and seeing. I think we kind of already covered that. And then, what did I say about going to the appointment? Going with her.
You said if you want me to go with you, I can, to take notes.
Yes. Yeah, great. Good.
And I only
So
know that
it
because
was-
that's what I do with my mother.
We also, well, we'll talk about that later, something that made me just think about that. So we did miss a few of the instructions, but we did pretty good overall. I think you guys did a really good job. But could you see where her inability to hear, well, it's going to affect her appointment if no one goes with her. Also probably her safety. Hearing and juggling our balance and getting in and out of a busy doctor's office, that can affect her. And then maybe if the person spoke slower and more clear, pronounced the words. I mispronounced a few things a couple times. I said cardiologist wrong, and to see if anybody picked up on that. So speaking really clear and pronouncing the words, those will also help when you're dealing with the older population. And they complaining about it a lot. I mean, I work with seniors every day, and if they can't hear, they'll tell you, which makes me happy because I'm teaching them about self-advocacy and speaking up for themselves. So anyway, that's just kind of a fun little thing to sort of introduce how just one small way you can be more empathetic to someone who is struggling to even get in the front door, walking with a cane or a walker. I'm sure all your libraries have our ADA, American ADA accessible. But that's another thought to think about. Is it easy for them to even get in the front door? If you have classes on the second floor, do you have an elevator? How can they get to the second floor? Or can we make sure all those classes that are geared for seniors are on the main level so that they don't walk in the door and go, oh, I got to go downstairs or upstairs? Then already they're deflated. Walking from the car to the inside can be a struggle. So that was just a fun little exercise. Again, at the end, I will give you some contact information if you're ever interested in doing something like that with OHAI. You can contact us and we would be happy to come help with that. So I'm going to pop into my PowerPoint. And it is not a super long one. I'm going to do a lot of brainstorming, so please feel free to chat, shout out the answers at any time. If you have questions and you want to ask right away, that's great. If you want to jot them down and wait till the end, that is also fine. So Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative has been around since about 2010. I came in 2016. I left the public schools and started working for them. I was a little bit concerned about, keep going. Okay. A little bit concerned about, am I going to feel rewarded? Because working in special ed is extremely rewarding. So we're just doing a little click here on the thing. So there we go. Is that better? Awesome. And I find this job is amazing. I feel so good every day after working with these seniors, and they have a great sense of humor. So don't be afraid to joke around with them. All right. Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative, or OHAI. We have a mission, and our mission is to enhance the health and quality of life for older Oklahomans, for their caregivers, through health and wellness education. Short and sweet. Some of the unique factors about older adults in Oklahoma, we have a high rate of poverty, and that is going to come up later when I show you the points that my participants brought up to me of what they would like from the library. They have a low level of physical activity. There is a poor health literacy. They are just not knowledgeable about what they need to do to be healthy. They have diabetes, but they still want to eat chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, gravy, and a roll with a big dollop of butter on it. So we're trying to educate more, especially in the rural areas. A low utilization of screenings. They don't take advantage of medical screenings. There's a lack of care coordination. Rural populations, we definitely are going to talk about that in a minute. And then there's not a lot of cultural diversity either with our older adults in Oklahoma. Does anybody have any questions so far? Great. So I wanted to brainstorm next. What is my library doing to help older adults? And I'm going to try to take some notes. And if you want to keep notes too, anybody to ask questions later, go ahead. But at any point, just pop in and let me know what you think your library is doing good. Go ahead, Jolene.
We go to nursing homes and read. We do
There it is.
a sitter side class,
Okay.
and we have a off-site library collection at our senior center, and we do a quilting club class
Oh, that's fun.
at the senior club center.
Okay. A quilting class. I figured out why I couldn't hear you guys because for some reason, my volume wasn't all the way up.
Pam says her library offers several kinds of exercise classes, cooking, or one class on health issues.
Okay, so cooking for one class is definitely something that has been discussed with my participants that they wanted me to bring up today. That's wonderful. So some exercise classes and a cooking for one class. Great. Quilting is what Jolene said, a quilting class, the book collection, and a sitting exercise class. Great. Any other things we want to talk about or bring up? How many of you, and you can just raise a hand or thumbs up, how many of you have more than one level to your library, like a basement or a second floor? Okay, a few people. Do you have an elevator? Great, that's awesome. Anything else? Jenny, what are some things you're doing here at your library? And I'll mute myself if you want to talk, because I know you have a huge population of adults that come into the library.
Reach out as well. We bring books and offer mailing services for folks who can't make it in. And they go to senior centers and offer technology assistance.
Yay.
Blair says they offer chair yoga classes specifically towards elder individuals with mobility issues.
Okay, perfect. So those are all great. So more of the mail-in or drop options for books, some more exercise, especially geared towards older adults who can't move quite well. The one I gave the thumbs up. Oh, they go to senior centers and talk to people about technology. That was another issue that was brought up. Okay, good. Let me mute.
Okay. one of the things that we do currently is that we have a grant through PLA and AT&T that has paid for some additional laptops in our library that allow us to teach classes in technology specifically geared towards our older population in technology. So how to use a computer, how to navigate the internet, how to create strong passwords, how to create an email account, how to utilize cybersecurity. And that grant has been moderately successful. The problem that we're having is getting the information out, because one of the things that we are finding is that our older patrons and our elderly patrons don't use social media. And so getting the information out to those people has been really, really difficult.
Well, where is it? We're even finding out, can you hear me? That they don't even have emails anymore. Like my mom used to have an email. She doesn't even have an email anymore. There is a select group that doesn't even want to get involved with all of that internet. So, right, getting the info out, it's kind of the old fashioned way. Make some flyers, go to the local diners, go to different places, doctor's offices, and have those flyers out and about for them to see. It is hard to get out the word. Try to reach to their children. You know, I'm in my 50s, so I'm on the internet. My mom's in her 80s, she's not. Reach out to me, then I can get that info to my mom. But yeah, it's almost a full-time job just doing that, getting everybody connected to know the information. Very good. You said something else that sparked a thought in me about the technology and learning about the technology, but we're going to keep going.
Hang tight just a second.
Okay.
And also has technology.
We also offer technology in our reading room that connects via Bluetooth to hearing aids. That's so cool.
Oh,
And
Pam says we offer hotspots to check out and classes on how to apply for low-cost
Wi-Fi.
that's
so
awesome.
smart.
Yeah. That is awesome, because that was one of the things that when I discussed with people, they want to learn it, but they don't always have what they need. So they could come borrow Jenny's laptop. And then was it Jolene that said you have a Bluetooth that can connect to their hearing aids? Roxanne said that. That's awesome. My coworker, Chris, he has hearing aids and his Bluetooth to everything. And he said it is a game changer. So he's only 43 years old. So I can't imagine what a game changer that would be if you're in your 80s and you've been struggling to hear for a long time. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and go to the next brainstorm, and that is, what could my library do better? What do you think about your library and you think, man, I wish we could do this better for older adults?
I wish I could reach my older adults better.
Okay, Jenny wishes she could reach them better. Reach out to them, get a hold of them. Now there is quite a big group that text messages, and so some sort of simple text might work, because I know like my mom can text from her iPad because she can connect her phone to her iPad, and then it's much easier to text on the iPad. So reaching out to them, just getting a hold of them is a difficult task. Anything else that you think you could do better or be better at?
Blair says getting library services out to them instead of expecting them to come to us. Mom has scoliosis, and I know how hard it is for her just to even go short distances.
Exactly. So getting the services out to them, because yeah, they're struggling. Like we said earlier, just to get in the front door sometimes is hard. So just getting them to leave their house if they're not feeling well That is something that we talked about with my seniors also. So I like that. Anyone else?
Jolene says offer one-on-one technology instruction. We don't have the time.
It's a time is hard to offer something like that one-on-one. I agree with you. I'm doing Zoom. Since the pandemic, we started Zooming. We lost a lot of our participants when we did that. I tried to walk them through. We had the directions simplified that I could send to them. And some of them just struggled. And it kind of got to the point where it's like, I'm sorry, I got to go because class is starting and I'm still trying to help you get on the Zoom. Call me after class and we'll try to figure it out. So it can be very hard. It's time consuming. Anything else? We have lots of time, so don't be afraid to talk or bring stuff up.
I have some, our library has gotten away from paper flyers to advertise, more through emails and, take a picture of this QRC code and things like that. And for the older population, that is difficult. A flyer with the yoga information or the cooking class information, I think is very helpful to them.
I think so. They can see it, they can put their hands on it, they can save it, they can put it somewhere safe. I mean,
Right.
my brother's only 64 and he's, he works full time. He's always on his iPad. He did not know how to do a QR code when I was home at Christmas. I'm like, are you serious? So someone at 64 struggling with it, someone that's 74 or 84 is going to struggle taking a picture of that QR code to get the info. So I think that's probably one important thing that you should stick with is you don't have to chop down a tree and make 100 copies of your flyer, but make a handful of flyers that you could physically give to someone or someone. I could take one and show it to my class. I could physically get your flyer, take it with me, and then I have 132 participants right now in my classes. That's a lot of people that I could reach for you. So
Pam says, I send invitations to those I think would be interested. A postcard, they like to get mail.
oh, that's brilliant. They do love mail. A little postcard with the info on it and mail it to the people that she knows is connected through the library that would want to come. You could even put some of those postcards in the doctor's office or at the pharmacy. Pharmacists are really good about helping us get our information out. So a pharmacy would be another great place that you could send a few of those postcards. Awesome. Anything else?
She usually puts a personal note on it.
Oh,
Pam,
that's
So smart.
yeah, they love that. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go to the next slide. If you think of anything else, jot it down because we're basically going to talk about all of this again at the end when I go through or it might be coming up here in a minute. There it is. This is what I was told. We'll go through each one. First one, medical information. I had never thought about this because I'm already doing what they do when they get their new medication. They can't read the directions, the instructions, the information. It's so small. I already now take a picture of it and make it bigger on my phone. But they said, would the libraries be able to get general information about the most common medications, maybe blood pressure medicine or blood thinners, or even like an antibiotic, and have that either one on a link for the people that can use the internet to come to your website and click on it and read it in large print, or make some actual copies to have in a little binder at the library. So if you're taking Xarelto for your blood, these are the side effects. These are the warnings. These are instructions. Make sure you take it this time of day. Make sure you take it with food, etc., and have it printed up in a large print so that they have access to read it. I thought that was really smart. Might be a project if you have an intern working at your library, to go through and do something like that. I'm sure most of it can be found on the internet and just typed or scanned or printed out. Basic tech classes, you guys talked about that. Not just the internet, but their phone. My mom got a new phone and she's struggling to figure out because it's different. The phone, the iPad, even just how to search something on the internet. But again, like you said, the problem is, do we have time? We can't do one-on-one, but what if we did a class? Like the first Friday of every month for 1 hour, the library will have information on a different technological issue, a phone or an iPad or Google. And just an hour once a month. Safety classes. More and more of my participants are telling me that they're scared. They're scared to go to the grocery store at night or to be out in a big group. So what about a class or a couple different classes on how to be safe when you're leaving the grocery store at dark, or what to do, locking your doors at night or during the day, how to call 911, or what are some of the other non-emergency numbers? Just different safety issues, not necessarily about safety in the home, because we do a lot of those classes. But this is more safety against getting robbed or getting mugged, or what if I'm in a car accident and I'm alone and I'm scared? What do I do? What if my spouse falls and we're out in public? Some different things like that. And I know that in Enid, I live in Enid, the police department is really good about sending out an officer to teach a class like that. So it really wouldn't even take your time to gather all the info. Maybe have a session or two with one of your local police officers or the sheriff's department. So Zoom classes. They said, would the library ever be interested in doing a class, but doing it on Zoom because I can't get out of the house? So let's say your chair exercise class that you already have. Would you be able to set up a laptop at the back of the room and allow people to Zoom in? Maybe, I'm trying to think of a name, Mrs. Longo can't leave her house because she's caring for her husband, but she wants to exercise. So she could Zoom in and watch you doing the class and do the class in her living room. It's an option. Some of them said, I would love to do the Zoom classes, but I would need a little introductory on how to do it. And that's pretty simple to do. But that was another suggestion. And then caregiver support. We teach a caregiver class. It's a 6 weeks class, and it is the best class. It is so good and so informational. And usually what happens is the participants open up and share and become very vulnerable, and they bond, and they want to continue seeing each other after the 6 weeks are over. Would the library be able to, you wouldn't even have to facilitate. Let's just pick a day once a month where your conference room or one of the areas of the library is available for anyone that wants to come and meet with other caregivers and have an hour of talking, coffee, fellowship, support.
Blair says we have a meeting twice a month for caregivers where they can talk and support each other. And once a quarter, we have a guest speaker, a doctor, etc.
That's fabulous. I love that. Was that Blair?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that, because it's important. We love our caregiver class. Every time I teach it, I learn something new. And they're just, the first class, they're a little nervous. And then after that, they feel so good that they got to say, my care receiver's driving me crazy, or, just, I don't have time to myself. They get to get that all out and they feel so much better. So thank you for doing that. The other one coming up is Medicare sign up. So when they do the Medicare, it's usually like Thanksgiving to Christmas, or maybe it's Halloween to Christmas, somewhere around October, November, December, that they do the sign up. Their complaint was they're always like in the Walmart or the mall, and it's loud and it's noisy, and I'm sharing my personal information. Would the library be willing to make an arrangement with one of those people who do the Medicare signups and have it at the library where it's a little more quiet? I don't feel as vulnerable about giving out my information in public. And the confusion, already you saw, if you're hearing bad, and then there's all that other noise going on, and you're trying to focus and concentrate, you're not going to be able to hear as well, and you're going to get frustrated. So that's an option, if anyone's interested in that. And then the cooking for one class, which I love that someone is already doing that. It's hard to downsize. Jenny was just talking about, both of her boys going away, and now it's just her and her husband, and it's already an adjustment to try to figure out how to cook for one.
But Tina, do you know who to contact for those Medicare sign-up classes?
I know a gentleman here in Enid, and I know some of the nursing homes have a person that comes to them.
Mhm.
So you might be able to ask your local nursing homes if they know anyone. If not, I know a gentleman. If anyone wanted to reach out to me when it comes time for that, I can ask him what counties he covers and if he knows someone that would be willing. I think possibly the Social Security office might be able to help you find someone. Yeah, and then back to that cooking for one, simple, easy, healthy recipes, inexpensive. If anybody wants to share any of the things that they do, was it Jolene? Was that you that said that? You do that? If you want to share anything that you remember from the classes?
Jolene had to dip out.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it you that said that you do the cooking for one classes?
No, but we have done cooking, and usually it's cooking for two
Okay.
classes. And we just have it for all adults and children. It's a family
Oh,
program.
that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, grandma could come with her granddaughter and they could have a little fun day together, learning how to cook for two.
Blair says the OSU Extension Office usually does a cooking at their senior center. I've done a cooking class and usually get the OSU Extension Office help with that.
Awesome. OSU Extension does amazing stuff.
Yes, they do.
We also have hired Jenna. She is fresh out of college, absolutely adorable. And she studied nutrition, and she has done a few things on our Facebook page. And in October, she did once a week, and she did all different pumpkin recipes, pumpkin dip. And those are all still on there. If you want to go to our Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative page, we have all of our videos saved, and there are tons of exercise videos. There's some cooking videos. There's a few of our one-time classes, which we'll talk about in a minute, that you can use from there. But so anyway, OHAI is a resource, and I'll get you all of our contact information so that you can reach out if you would like us to come. A little add-on at the bottom that I have here, many of this, meaning the things offered that we just talked about, are offered at tech schools or junior colleges or other facilities, but they don't all have a budget to pay for those classes. And that's why they like the library, because they know when they come to you, they don't have to spend $20, $30 to come get the information. Not everyone that I spoke to is affiliated with a church or a senior center, so they don't have access to classes that their church might offer or that the senior center might offer. So they rely on the library. And then not all have a computer to access the information, which we've talked about already. And so they know they can come to the library to use a computer at the library. So those were just things that I got from speaking with my participants. And these were people in Enid, people in Cherokee, people in Alva. I think that's the only places that I'm traveling to right now. So I'm sure there are other things that could come up. Does anybody have questions or any other thoughts that you want to add to what we just talked about?
We're down to 15 minutes.
Awesome. I was worried I was going to go too fast and not get, or just leave you with 30 extra minutes to your day. We wouldn't want that, would we? So this is my little plug for OHAI. What can OHAI do for you? Well, we have classes in our education classes are in falls prevention, caregiver health, medicine safety, healthy brain, and communication. Let me go to one more. Some of the things that we have offered that have benefited older adults is improved quality of life, increased self-efficacy, increased or maintained independence, positive health behaviors, more mobility. I'm gonna go one more. Oh, I thought I had another one.
Pause for just a second. Roxanne wants to know, are these complimentary?
That's what I was going to talk about. So let's go to let me go one more to the classes. So some of our classes right now are covered under a grant. Some are not. So it's kind of like the life of a nonprofit. While we have the grant money, we teach those classes. And then when that grant ends and we start a new one, we start adding those classes. Most classes, if we came for the first time, would be complimentary. Then we would work with you on classes that are under our grant, or we would see if you could write a grant with the information we would give you of what we would do, and you might be able to get grant money to cover the class. So we do have some fee-for-service classes that we do charge money. But again, our first time out, we usually just come and do for free. I'm teaching a lifelong learner class right now, and they reached out to me and they are paying me. I do all free classes. I work around what our grant money is because I don't want these seniors, because I'm in Northwest Oklahoma, I'm going to rural areas. I don't want them to have to spend money. Now, our Oklahoma City and Tulsa people are a little bit different because they've got a lot of businesses that will pay for it and they'll write it off as a tax deduction. So we're willing to work and come up with what we can do for you. I've been to Cherokee now a couple times and I haven't charged anything because I make it work with what I can teach. So let's talk about some of the classes. Right now, Matter of Balance, that would be for someone who hasn't exercised. And it talks about, don't be afraid to go to your daughter's or your granddaughter's graduation because you don't think you can make it up the bleachers. Let's change that thought process and teach you some ways that you can go and be safe. And hey, while we're at it, the last little part of the class, we're going to do some stretching and flexibility to make your knees and your ankles stronger so you can walk up and down those steps. So it kind of introduces them to a better thought process, and then it gets them doing a little bit of exercise in their chair. Then SAIL is staying active and independent. It's one of our most popular classes right now. It is an exercise class. It's 20 minutes of very low impact cardio, marching in place, tapping our shoulders, bringing our knees up. And then we do about 15 minutes of balance work And then we have some little 1-pound weights that we use for strengthening. And then Tai Chi for better balance. That's really popular. Very slow movements that help you learn how to use counterbalance to reduce your risk of falling. And then we have a walk with ease. That class is for people who have arthritis to help them start moving, but it's also for people who may have taken the matter of balance and they're ready to exercise, but they're not quite ready to do the SAIL, the Staying Active and Independent class. Those are all on a grant right now. My grant is through Long-Term Care Authority. It covers about 9 counties. Tulsa area is through EODD, and it covers several counties. And then there's one down south. Is anyone down in the Durant area? They have a different name for theirs. I can't think what their grant. So those are all under a grant right now for a 6-week class, twice a week. If you're in the certain counties. And so when you get to the end, make sure you screenshot or get the info for Paula and Omi, because they can hook you up with all the right counties. Healthy Brain, Healthy Mind, and Powerful Tools for Caregivers is also on a grant right now, a GWEP grant. And so we could come teach that under the grant. Those are Healthy Brain, Healthy Minds, 4 weeks. And we have merged it and we now call it Healthy Brain, Healthy Mind for the Dementia Caregiver. And we've paired with OKDCN. So we've got, that's a 4-week class. And then the Powerful Tools for Caregivers is a 6-week class. A 1-hour class that we offer is how to communicate with your healthcare provider. A 1-hour class is using medicine safely. Those are all ones that you could do like a lunch and learn, and you could have in person. You could have a possibility to Zoom also, if you wanted to Zoom that one. There's a diabetes class, Diabetes and Beyond. That right now is also, I can't think what grant that's covered under, but that is covered under a grant. Jenna, who I said is doing the nutrition. We just did a grant, an AVM grant, and she's going to do some cooking classes in a couple areas. So again, that would be something Paula and Omi could help you figure out. Do you have a way to help write a grant with us that could provide those classes for you? All right, we'll go one more. This is the Paula and Omi, Omalora is her name. This is their email information. It is their office number. And then we also have our website where there's a calendar with all the current classes around the whole state. Facebook Live, or Facebook, we do live classes, is under, you have to write it all out, Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative. And it's got our little logo on it, which is this little logo right here. Is everybody ready for me to move that screen? Okay, last but not least, that's me. That's my fancy PowerPoint skills right there. I said last night, or no, 2 nights ago when I did it, I haven't made a PowerPoint in so long, I can't remember what I'm supposed to do. So you got my basic info there, my cell number. Please call me or text me on my cell. That does not bother me. Email tina-ruding@ouhsc.edu. That's everything. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, wait. Did everyone get that info? I don't want to stop sharing yet. Looks good. All right. I'm going to turn it over to questions. Jenny, you chime in. Let me know what else needs to be done. We've got about 8 minutes left.
I am manning the chat in case anyone has questions there.
Awesome. I was thinking about saving the chat and putting it in a excuse me, an email. So if I did have questions or I have any kind of answers for anyone,
Mhm.
I would have that chat. So before we get off, I'll do that.
And we are recording this, so it will be somewhere.
Somewhere stored.
It will be stored somewhere and someone will have access.
Oh, yay. Someone, Pam has used the OHAI and their health literacy grant. Awesome. Pam, where are you located?
I think Southern Oklahoma.
So you probably had Cindy or Michael. Or maybe Rhonda before Rhonda left.
Southern Oklahoma Library System.
Awesome. Ardmore. Yep. So you probably had Rhonda David or Jenny Smithson, I think your name was. They both have moved and gone on to other things, but they were both great presenters, teachers.
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and.
You're
put
muted.
the, evaluation in the chat here. So you can go ahead and fill that out. I am going to also toss something up and onto the screen. Maybe.
So Jenny's putting in the evaluation in the chat, and then she was going to have something else come up on the share. The Tai Chi and the brain class, both great classes. I think Healthy Brain, Healthy Mind is my favorite class. It's very positive and fun.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, our next Lunch and Learn is April 12th. It's going to be equity, diversity, and inclusion, inside and out, creating inclusive workplaces for library workers. That's going to be a great one. So if you have not already registered, go ahead and get that done. It's going to be amazing, as always, as all these Lunch and Learns are. One of my favorite ways to get all of that information that we sometimes don't ever have enough time to do. And give you a second to write that down so that you can put that on your calendar. At my library, we are currently doing Tai Chi with Miss Tina, and all of our people just love it. They've actually gotten so many people in the Tai Chi class that it has outgrown my library, and they actually had to move it to City Hall. And so if you take it upon yourself to group with OHAI and do something like this for your older patrons, first of all, I highly recommend it. But be prepared for it to grow bigger, because that's what happened to me. And that's sad because I don't get to see all the fun people who who do a Tai Chi with Tina twice a week. But it's great that they have all loved that class and they love Tina so much. And that's a wonderful thing. But I just want to take a second and say thank you, Tina, for doing this. And thank you for all of the lovely suggestions. And thank you, everybody that came and participated, because I do have new ideas today.
Yay.
How to get our message out. And I appreciate that so much.
I was going to add one thing that you made me think of just now.
Yes.
Reach out to OHAI, because it took me, I've been with OHAI a little over 7 years. I could not get into Cherokee. I could not find a way in. I tried and tried and tried. And then when I found out Jenny was the librarian, it's like, oh my gosh, I have an in. And I can't get here enough. They keep saying, when are you going to come back? What else can you do? When can you come back again? So there might be an OHAI worker that is trying to figure out who they can reach out to. and they just don't have a way in, reach out.
It's true.
Mhm.
I remember that day.
Was so excited.
It was fun. Anyway, thank you guys for coming so much. I appreciate you and, yay,
It was great to see everybody and meet you. Good luck.
it was.
We love libraries.
Yes. And I hope to see everybody at OLA in just a few weeks. So, yay. Thanks so much. Don't forget to do your evaluation.